heard. This sometimes caused conflict, but also made the team stronger because once everyone got their head in the game, a big part of what made this team successful was the ability to play during the games, not being worried about if we're going to get yelled at or not, then working our asses off during practice. Because volleyball is a team sport, every decision every individual makes affects the team. The good and the bad decisions a team member makes affected the team. While there were a lot of decisions that were poorly made by the team, the other team members were able to pick up one slack. We had a common goal, and nothing, not even ourselves, were going to make that goal not happen. At the beginning of the season, the team wasn't very motivated, but when we got into the gym with a new coach and realized our potential, the team's integrity to win increased. Once we started winning games, that was it. We were unstoppable. The need to be above everyone during competition is what made the team great and fired us up. Everyone took on a role of being a teammate. Once we started getting better and realized our potential, the norm was to be great in everything we do, to be the best person we could be, not just player. The norm is what caused our great cohesiveness in the team, and it was everything. Causing our culture to changed everything else. The goal was to make nationals in volleyball. Our motivation was the fact that no one had ever been before, and it would be a huge accomplishment for the girls trying to play in college and the club itself. Exchange. Every time we had a good practice, there was where everyone met the stats they needed, we would receive a reward for doing so well, whether that be not running after the end of practice or getting to play in the next game. There are captain positions who are there to work as an image to what the players should act and work like. But there are also leaders who are leaders by nature, and people follow them by instinct. On our team specifically, there were 2 captains. These people who elected by the team as to who they look up to most and feel comfortable being behind at all costs. The 3 former leaders include the coach and co-captains. Coach style leadership. This style of leadership focuses on identifying and nurturing the individual strengths of each member on his or her team. They also focus on strategies that will enable their team to work better together. This puts more emphasis on the growth of success of individual teammates. While volleyball is a team sport, it is unable to develop without the individual development of its members. Overall, the perseverance to accomplish the common goal of the team, what to set our team apart from other teams was the culture and bonds we had with every one of our teams.
The soccer team I was on had an extrinsic motivation, which was based on punishment and reward. If you played well, you'd be on the field. If you didn't, you'd be benched. Each different player was motivated by gaining the control of others and was in that of power. There's not there for the need of companionship and make the team prosper as a group, but simply for themselves, which hindered the way my team played. The personality for my soccer team, in particular with our captains, who were supposed to be leaders, both had personality traits that resembled that of neuroticism. The 2 different girls showed to be very critical of one another and as a team if we did not play to our full potential. This affected the team behavior because all the various other members felt uneasy around the 2 captains, and if they did mess up, they would face very hard criticism. In the game of soccer, there had to be leaders in some sort of aspect. Leading comes in different forms, but on my team, the power some had as leaders is what fueled tension between the various players. The role of leadership within our soccer team was leaders and coaches. The coaches were not the issue of the team, but they were there to help us persevere and to help win games. But the role of leadership throughout the players was based on power. Many various players tried to become leaders and try and change a team for the better because it was falling apart. But this started more issues because people started fighting. There were 2 former leaders, which were the captains, and the final leader would be the coach. The style of leadership that was used on my team was transactional leadership. The transactional tactic was used on my team because there was a clear disciplinary power from our captains and coaches, in which motivated my team members to try harder just because they knew that if they did not abide by their commands, they would face punishment. My soccer team as a whole started unstoppable, winning national championships and having team connection that was all lost to the 2 captains. The role that every other player took on was simply just a member as a team. As the team noticed the captains acted as that we were below them, the team's connection and passion just began to deplete, fearing coming to practice from punishment that these 2 captains would put upon us. Overall, what made my team so awful was that of power. As leaders, showing power is an admirable and beneficial tool if it is used in the right way. For my team, the tool of power was used by those who were supposed to be leaders caused them to go from an outstanding winning team to compatible losing team.